We're just getting ready. If you're out there and you hear us, let us know in the comments. Hopefully our audio is okay. I use this little thing called a YOLO box for our live streams, and it's kind of hard. That's interesting. We posted on Facebook, who's got questions about drones that spray? I don't think I did that. Maybe I did. That could be something that I must have done. That was just a couple minutes ago. So it must have just posted by itself. Okay, cool. 3 minutes and counting.
Alrighty.
We're going to hear a lot of traffic going by.
Yeah, we are. Should I go out and stop it?
Yes, please. If you could just put something up, that'd be great. Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing 1, 2, 3. This is David Plummer. You talk, Michael.
Testing 3, 2, 1. Testing 3, 2, 1. This is Michael Ferguson.
Okay, I'm going to turn us up a little bit. Hope you guys are joining us. Maybe not. Maybe there's nobody even looking yet.
Well, it'll be out there on the interweb, though.
It so sure will. They'll be able to read it
later.
Yeah. Hopefully you guys can hear us again. If there's an issue with our audio, please let me know so I can fix it. And of course, if there's a problem with the audio, they're probably not hearing that anyway. So that's how it goes. So what are you doing tonight, Michael?
Well, my daughter's in town from college. It's like a fall break, so maybe hook up with her and see what she's doing. Yeah.
Good.
There's a high school football game going on, so
check it out.
I don't know if the boy wants to go to that. He usually only, is there for about.
If you're going to be reading from that, I would move it closer to you.
Okay.
Because once you step over there, you're going to, oh yeah, sorry, move that.
That's a good idea.
20 seconds. 20.
So you didn't really care what I was doing tonight?
No, I did. I did, but yeah. I was also paying attention to the fact that we are going to be live in 8 seconds.
We'll go over some other stuff like Airworks and whatnot.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, cool. I think so. Okay, there we are. We are live. This is David Plummer. Yeah, no, I know. I'm looking, but I feel like we're blurry. I'm not sure. Oh. I'm David Plummer, Michael Ferguson.
Hey,
we're
guys.
from Aerial Influence. We run the company Aerial Influence, and what we do is we work with agricultural clients. We also work with police and fire departments. But one of our main things is working with these giant agricultural drones. And we just went to DJI Airworks, right? And what did we see there, Michael?
Well, we saw a lot of different stuff, but we saw the T40 that was announced. So that's the biggest drone and their flagship drone, spraying drone that they've brought out to date.
Right.
I don't know if we want to show them a video right offhand.
Yeah, I can show some of the video of it just flying here.
So, and again, they're all named T30, T40 based on liters, how many liters they can carry. So this one obviously carries 40 liters, but the spreading system actually on both the T30 and the T40 actually, will handle more than that.
Yeah.
And in this case, I think it's 50. Is it 50 kilograms that it'll hold?
Yep.
So
We'll let them convert that to,
yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
2.2. So yeah, it's big. It's quite a bit. Some of the main differences though, there's actually just 2 sprayers. Whereas this guy had like 16 different spray nozzles. They have a centrifugal dual atomized spraying system, and you're still getting, I think, what is it, like 11 meters of spray width, and that's going to be, that's I think at 3, they said 3 meters, so about 9 feet, you're getting that kind of a spray width.
wow.
So yeah, it's pretty impressive. I mean, some of the other things you and I were talking about is, here, when you take this guy out, the spraying system, you still have the pumps, you still have, the booms, you still have everything.
Right.
In the T40 case, the pumps are actually attached to the spraying unit.
Right.
Which is also kind of, I think, a good thing because they've made it much more modular. So something goes wrong, you can kind of take bits and pieces off.
Get a second one with other pumps on it if you wanted to.
Exactly.
And the other good thing about that is that you're losing some weight by taking those pumps out.
Right.
You're actually able to put, when you're spreading, you can put more weight in the spreader. So that's an interesting thing too.
And just things that they've kind of thought about as far as.
Look at this, Africa. That's amazing.
Hey.
Thank you so much.
Hey, from Africa. How you doing?
Yeah, Net Engine Solutions. All right. Thank you so much for watching. I'm sorry. What were you were just in the midst of something. We were talking about the pumps and basically how
they're in addition to making things modular, they're actually making it where the pesticide or solution is bypassing the motor itself in the pump, so you can actually longer life in the pump itself and the motor itself.
Yeah. You also got the fact that, like on this one, you've got your radar down here, or your RTK and everything.
Well, yeah.
Your RTK is up here. The radar is down here, I believe, right on the new one.
So the new one, the RTK, I think is back here, and then this, it actually looks like a big RTK module, but it's actually
the radar.
The radar, yeah. So
I
just a
wonder,
little bit different.
And I wonder what the benefit is of having it on top as opposed to having it on the bottom.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Maybe they're just getting a little bit more of a 360 view.
Yeah.
But another cool thing is, and again, I guess we'll have to see how this goes, but they actually have one camera on this one now. It's used as an FPV camera and a mapping camera.
Oh,
so
right.
it will tilt,
Yep.
to 90 degrees. Also do some oblique. So if you're doing stuff like, we did a video out here spraying the trees.
Yeah.
You're basically able to make a map with this guy.
Yeah.
Now, again, it may be where
you're only going to be flying.
Well, you might still want to be. You might still want to use, a Phantom 4 or maybe the Mavic, Enterprise or something like that.
Something else to map with.
But
and it's probably the Mavic Enterprise, right? That's the one you probably want to go with now. Anyway, it's going to be the most up to date and the most, technologically sound. So.
But it's kind of cool. So now you have, basically you can do spraying, spreading, and mapping.
Yeah.
The one thing though is that it is saying that it tops out at about 30 meters, so about 100 feet. So I'm wondering if that can be bypassed if you're not spraying, because I understand not necessarily you don't need to go to 400 feet when you're spraying.
Yeah, right.
But if you're just doing something, like a mapping solution, and you've got 500 acres that you want to map.
Yeah, you're going to need something that can go higher than 100 feet.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
And maybe you don't. I mean, maybe the fact that the battery is almost bigger than a car battery. I think it probably weighs more than a car battery. Maybe 100 feet, you've got 2 hours of flight time. I mean, I doubt that, but your flight time is going to be
dramatically increased by taking all that weight off of it.
Right.
Yeah. No.
So it's good to have too, because if you're out in the field and you need to do something that is that requires not just going up and down a row, and let's say there's multiple, you've got a whole crew with these, then it kind of makes sense. Okay, each one can actually do a small mapping job. Okay, you've got a real specialized orchard type scenario over here, but on this side it's just kind of rows going up and down rows.
Yeah.
So maybe somebody needs to do a mapping solution one place, they don't need to the other. You kind of have an all-in-one. So
yeah, I
think that's definitely a good idea.
I thought it was interesting as well that there's no backup camera. Basically with the T30, there's one on front and there's one on the back, and I know those are just FPV cameras, but on the T40, there's just the camera on the front that can tilt and everything, but there is no backwards camera. And maybe they just determined that people don't back up that much.
I mean, these things are going, and if it's stopping for any reason, it's stopping because of the sensors.
Yeah.
And that's when you would be, okay, you have to go up because maybe you came into a divot or something like that and you have to raise it up or something like that. I don't know that you necessarily need it. I think the camera that is, it's a mechanical shutter.
Yeah.
It can map.
Which is great.
Yeah, it is.
That's something that mappers need. And
yeah, it's basically like a P4 size camera.
Yeah, but just a little lower resolution than the P4. P4 I think was 20 megapixels.
Right. Yeah, this is 12.
Yeah. Right.
But I think and again, if you can only go 100 feet up, and you could map for a long time because you don't have any weight, extra weight, then that 12 megapixels is going to be probably a higher resolution than 20 megapixels.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right. Yeah. You should show them. So everybody loves this remote, the new remote. So this is the same one that they use now for the DJI M30 and M30T, but it's a beast.
It's a DJI RC Plus. So this thing, it is a beast. This was an add-on that DJI sells, but it's basically a bracket, so kind of takes the weight off of it. Obviously, we don't have the strap or anything right now, but I mean, it's a bigger size screen, which is nice. You still have the option, USB-C, HDMI, USB-A, micro SD card. It doesn't feel bad. It doesn't feel overly cumbersome. Actually, almost everything is within your thumb, index, and middle finger, where you got the buttons here. You've got right here is, on the other drones, it's basically pan and tilt. On this one, it will probably be something like increased spray and tilt, because it's not a I think it's 2-axis gimbal.
Yeah.
On the T40.
But you can do like really complex mapping functions with this, right? I mean, that's what the big upgrade is on that remote specifically.
Yeah, I think I don't know if it's 8-core, but it's definitely a higher processor within this, and I think that's what they're wanting to go with, because there's a lot of places that mapping companies, like Drone Deploy, it's only cloud-based. You've got Pix4D that was only desktop before, but then they did cloud. DJI was kind of the same way, where everything had to basically go off of a gaming computer because it was graphics intensive. But now they've got the smart farm app. So it's basically giving you more solutions.
I wonder if they're going to. Oh shoot! What was I just going to say? I totally lost. Yeah, it was something. Oh, drone deploy. So I know drone deploy has integrated into some of DJI's drone. I wonder if they're going to do that with this as well. I mean, I know they're more.
I think the idea is that So at Airworks, they talk about companies that are kind of integrating within DJI. Drone deploy is one of them because I think a lot of people do like the simplicity of drone deploy, the fact that it's cloud-based. So yeah, I think what you're going to be able to do is you're going to be able to do multispectral stuff, and it could also be where it might be a different multispectral camera that you're pulling in, but you're still able to get a prescription map that's exported that the Agras can read. But going back to what you were saying, yes, they are specifically going to integrate with the Mavic 3 suite of drones.
Yeah.
And eventually we're going to be seeing probably a farm-based,
Yeah, you're right.
multispectral type that might be in the Mavic, family.
Yeah. No, very good. What else do people want to know? Well, this is our friend James. Let's see here.
Hey, James.
So I know people got a lot of questions about cost and all sorts of stuff. So I'm just reading this here. Acres per hour, 3-gallon rate, battery cost per battery, availability, timing on PDF of maintenance manual. Thank you for the event. Yeah. Okay, so what we can really say is
I didn't see any downloads yet as far as
pricing.
The maintenance manual or basically he's asked for that kind of manual stuff. As soon as we get that, we'll definitely get that to you, James.
Yeah. Well, keep in mind, so this drone, and we haven't gotten exact pricing yet, but this drone is what, approximately with batteries and everything, like 25,000 around there?
Yeah, roughly. And most likely,
and this is the T30, not the T40. So the T40, we're just trying to figure out.
I would say that we're most likely going to see a 30% increase, because of the capabilities, the added stuff. It might be a little bit more because it's basically got a, now, if you're not carrying anything, you kind of have a small Phantom or a giant Phantom 4, RTK, that you can map with. So that's all obviously going to be taken in consideration. Going back to, I don't have a lot of information on what people are charging per, as far as like per acre or per hour. Although I did talk to one person, and he's actually charging $20 per acre. Okay. And again, that's probably for quite a bit of acreage. And
the cost
it's just different. It's not necessarily apples to apples. Even though it's a plane versus a drone, you're probably using less pesticide because as far as the flare-ups and everything to get over the trees and then circle back to the field. There's a couple other things that. Anyways, go ahead. Yeah.
No, well, I was just going to say the cost of the battery. I'm not sure, James, you were there. Sorry, I'm looking at myself. James, you were there at Airworks. The size of that battery. What's the cost of the battery on the T30?
$1,800.
$1,800.
Yeah. So this one also is going to have, I believe, whichever sooner, 12-month or 1,500 charges. So they're slowly getting where you can charge these things more and more and more.
Yeah.
They have a 9 to 12 minute charge time. That's from 30% to 90%. So, again, I think a lot of people think 0 to 100, and it's actually, okay, you're charging it from 30% to 90%. It's 9 to 12 minutes.
Yeah.
So.
Very good. We've got one question that I wanted to throw up there real quick. We don't get many like this. These people want to know what gender we are. Well, I mean, we're
what
men,
gender?
so I thought,
Yeah,
hey, you want to ask the question, we'll give you the answer. So, yes, we're both men. Let's see what else we have.
He and his.
Yes, we've got a lot of people saying hello, and they're from all over the world actually, which is very cool.
Another company that actually came out of Airworks and before is a company called CZI, and they actually do a lot of stuff with public safety, where it's a third-party company. They do the spotlight and the speaker that you can put on top of the M30, but they're also going to be coming out with actually a drop mechanism for the T40P, T20P. Possibly they'll come out. I'd like to see something for the T10 as well, to make it that kind of like a heavy lift. Do
Yeah,
something.
right. It'd be awesome if they did it for the T40.
It might do it for the T40.
Yeah.
And then going along with the over 55-pound stuff, we should all look into the possibility of the Part 108. So that's trying to make it a little bit more simplified for people to actually get out and use these machines, without having a small crew of 2 people.
Yeah.
Just one person staring at the drone, another person. So
yeah, right.
There's hopefully a lot of good things coming up sooner rather than later. Hopefully.
Yeah.
We are talking about regulation. So your regulation usually is a snail's pace. So.
And we know that already just from like the T30. It's taken quite a while for people to get that. To
Just
get their
anything over 55 in general
is gonna be like that. So you can imagine, we don't know anything for sure, but you can imagine getting your T40 Part 137 is gonna be just as difficult as a T30.
Yeah.
So but
unless we get some other kind of clear-cut guidelines.
Right, absolutely.
It's slowly coming.
But we do think this is going to take a lot of interest, obviously, because as these things keep getting bigger, they can cover more ground, and it does kind of change the way people farm. You look at a T10. Somebody that's got a 10-acre little farm, that's great for them, or 20, 30 acres, whatever. Like, that's a great little drone for them.
Yeah.
But now we're getting to a point where these can handle bigger farms, and especially like the T40, and you just wonder, this is just me wondering for the future, like, are we going to have like a T150 someday, that covers everything?
Yeah, I guess it'll all come down to, okay, is the T150, should we actually make a T150?
Right.
Because if we have a guy or 2 people, guy or gal, gender doesn't matter.
True.
We have a lot of women that are doing spraying, which is awesome.
Yep.
But where does it make sense? Like, instead of having a T150, does it make sense to have a T75, split it into 2, because 150 kilogram drone is hard to pull out with even 2 people.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
But yeah, that's all the stuff. So far they've just gotten. We've seen both. We've seen the drones basically split off, and the ag drones are getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and the multifunctional, great zoom, great thermal, those have gotten smaller and smaller and smaller.
I know, isn't that incredible?
Yeah.
And now, we'll see, like right now, the Phantom 4 multispectral is the drone, that we're using for multispectral, and in the future, there'll probably be an update to that, because the Phantoms are sort of slowly, the Phantom line is kind of slowly going away. So, right now it's the Phantom 4 multispectral, and we'll see what it is in a year from now or 2 years from now if they decide to update that as well. So that's one of the farming drones we always forget about, is the multispectral. So,
and that's the thing I think they're starting to kind of tighten up, where it's like, okay, you want to do spot spraying, well, let's make it where it makes sense. It's doing the optimal route. It's turning off and turning on at the right times. There's
a lot. So earlier we posted the thing about the guy asked us what gender we were. Hold on one second. He says, Sorry, Google Translate error. Which country are you in? DJI is attempting to. Oh, I see. We're in the U.S. Yeah,
US.
and no, yeah, we're in the U.S. They've announced it, so there's no
Attempting
current
to impose an
embargoes.
embargo.
Yeah, no, because they've announced this at Airworks. This is all public knowledge now. So
Yeah. I'm not going to necessarily get into all that kind of stuff because, I mean, as far as I know, I mean, that's kind of been an issue from day one, really. But I don't think it's an issue, but
no, I know, and I think what he was referencing an embargo was like they haven't released it here yet. An embargo means you couldn't talk about it.
Okay.
But we can now because they've announced it and everything. Okay. So anyway, sorry, that was sort of a sidetrack there. But yeah, thank you for clarifying that and the translate error. We appreciate that.
That's a pretty bad translation then.
It is. I'm not sure how that worked. Let's say real quick, Ramesh, he's in India right now. Thank you so much. We appreciate you checking it out. Obviously, we appreciate everybody that is watching us. Actually,
so what aside from the ag stuff, and I know that we're here for ag, but what are some of the things that you saw at Airworks?
At Airworks, just tons of. Like you said, CZI had tons of attachments for different drones, even for the Mavic 3. So I think that's an exciting thing because that opens it up for other people, not just within DJI, to create for these drones. And I think that's really cool. And the CZI stuff looks really legit. So
it does.
So that I thought was really cool. Really, I think, I think what DJI Airworks is good for is networking. Like you meet so many people there, and we met a ton of people who also do a lot of YouTube stuff, and just saying hi to them and getting to know those people as well. It was a great thing. We had some clients out there as well, so it was good to see them. And obviously they do all sorts of, speaking engagements throughout the 3 days. There are keynote speeches and things like that. And those were all very informative and good to attend. So what did you think? Did you have a good time?
Yeah, no, I had a good time. I do like the fact that you're basically there with like-minded people. So that's cool. And then, we've come to this since 2016 when it was basically, half the size of this room. So that's neat to see people that, or talk to people that have either been watching our videos and, are saying, thanks for, just kind of keeping going with that. I thought that was really cool.
No, that was actually kind of neat.
Felt like a super crazy celebrity, I mean, when one person notices you.
Yeah, I know. That's ridiculous. 1 second. Here we go. I'm sorry. I might mess up your name here, but it's either Keel Bradley or Bradley Keel. I'm sorry. But he's got some questions for us.
Okay. Are you going to add a T40 to your FAA? We may try to do that, but we might try to add the T40 to the FAA. The thing is, though, I mean, we're not service providers, so but we want to be able to use the equipment, obviously, know how to use it. So I don't know if it's going to be in our best interest to keep going, with T40, T50, whatever, because I think at some point, it'll be easier to add certain things as long as let's say you get something for your T30. You want to add T40, as long as there's not any major differences as far as like the flight control and all that kind of stuff. It should, they should make it easier to upgrade, It'd be like, a John Deere 2021 versus a 2022 versus a 2023. I mean, it's, yes, there's going to be added things, but other than capacity and that kind of stuff. So we'll kind of see, because we're
going to try to, but
but we're trying to definitely focus on bringing you content, as dealers, providing the best service we can. We're going to start doing basically we'll have everything in house where we can do anything from sales to servicing, if you bring the drone to us or we get the drone to us, or maybe even try to do something where it's servicing but kind of like modified where, okay, you still keep the drone, we can get the parts to you and then do some type of online or one-on-one to get you started, because
Yeah.
there's a lot of guys out there that are perfectly capable of changing certain
Doing
things.
this
Obviously,
themselves.
definitely, you break a prop, anybody can do that with the right tool. But yeah, we'll see if we're going to add the T40.
Yeah. I think we're coming down to an end, I think. We're coming to a close. Let's see, where are we at? We're at 26 minutes. If anybody's got, we'll keep it open for another second here.
And, they can go to the DJI site, and get some
More information.
too.
Do we have any information? Let's see. Terra mapping for the T10 works on the T40. Terra mapping for the T10 works on the T40, question mark?
So I think, you mean, are we going to be able to
Map with the T10?
Yeah, I'm assuming that you're going to be able to take the T40 and map with that, or you can use the Phantom 4 RTK, and then if they come up with another one, all those can be processed within Terra and basically output what your mission's going to be. So I think the answer to what you're asking is yes. You'll be able to basically do the mapping that you've already been doing for the T10, and it can apply to the T40.
Yeah.
If I'm getting that right.
And you could also, and the same with the
T20.
Mavic, you could probably take the Mavic 3 Enterprise, and those maps would work for.
I would think so.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing that it needs is RTK. I mean, that is really, you need to have, if you're going to be mapping, you need to map with an RTK drone. Now, again, the Matrice is an RTK drone, but I don't know that they've made that where it can be used with an ag drone.
Yeah.
But that's the real, it needs precision.
Yeah, right, absolutely. Real quick, Drone BCMC asks, any advice on the 3.0 granular spreader? Go Mariners.
The 3.0
granular.
So are you talking about the one that the T10 has, or maybe
Probably talking about the T40.
T40?
One, right? Yeah. I mean, the information we've got essentially is, how much weight it holds.
Yeah, I mean,
spreading payload of 50 kilograms.
There is a 3.0 for the T10. I think we've got it, right there, the T10 spreading system 3.0. I mean, it's a good spreader. I've even heard of people doing slight modifications. DJI R&D actually hooked up with one of our clients. We put them in touch with them, and they wanted to do something specific. And so, this is the nice thing, is that we're still at the infancy, that they are taking, ideas from us, from you, and trying to implement that if it makes sense. Obviously if there's, one thing and only, half a dozen people are doing it across the United States or something like that, then that's probably going to be on the back burner.
Yeah, right.
But all of these things kind of add in to, okay, what's going to be the next update. So I like the spreader.
Yeah.
Other than that,
no, that's right.
I don't know if I can add to more.
He says the T30 3.0 granular spreader is what he's asking about. So yeah, I mean,
well,
go ahead.
We'll have to look into that.
Yeah, we'll have to check more into it. Yeah, but I think that we're done with questions. If
we sell them.
Yeah, no, we do. Here, actually, let me put that up on the screen real quick. Obviously, if you guys are interested in buying a T40 or a T30 or a T10, please give us a call and or shoot us an email. That's what we do. We're drone dealers. So what we want to do is help you find the right drone for your farm, right?
Yeah. Or whatever your application may be.
Yep.
Yeah.
So you can see the number up on the screen. I'm going to check one more time for any other comments. Drone BCMC says, thanks guys for the advice.
Yeah, no problem.
We did our best. So, all right, guys, thank you so much. We appreciate you tuning in and watching from all over the world. Yeah. We really appreciate that. And, I guess, what else is there to say?
We'll see you next time. We'll try to put some stuff out sooner rather than later.
Yep, absolutely. More to come.
All right, thanks.